Long after the Lord sent the flood to cleanse the earth of sin, he looked down on the world of man. No longer did he see scattered tribes of humanity fighting amongst themselves. Instead, he saw a united people. Mankind had come together in the land of Shinar under the leadership of Nimrod, who was a descendant of Noah himself. Nimrod had brought the people together, and they spoke one language. So Nimrod instructed his people to build a mighty tower that would rise up into the sky and reach the very heavens themselves. The Lord looked down and saw that mankind was challenging his dominion, and so he scattered mankind once more upon the earth. He changed their languages so they spoke a multitude and could not understand one another, so that they would never again unite and challenge him. The tale of the Tower of Babel, as a fable, is meant to show the origins of why mankind is scattered across the world with a myriad of different languages. It is also supposed to show what happens when we do not humble ourselves before God and instead try to challenge his authority in heaven. This is, of course, the Old Testament God who seems much less likely to forgive. The story of the Tower of Babel is mirrored in several other religions throughout the world, however. In Mexico, there is a myth surrounding the Great Pyramid of Cholula. Once the sun appeared and shone upon the land for the first time, mankind saw great giants appear. These creatures searched for the great sun, but were unable to reach it. To reach the sky that the sun sat in, the giants created a mighty pyramid. But the Lord of the heavens saw this, and it angered him. He sent those who dwelled in the sky to destroy the pyramid and scatter the people across the land. The Tohono O'odham people believed that the great hero Montezuma once survived a massive flood. Once the waters receded, Montezuma began building a house tall enough to reach the heavens, but the great spirit of the sky saw this and sent lightning and thunder to destroy the house. Samaria, Assyria, Africa, and Nepal all have similar myths that at least match in context the ideas that surround the Babel story. So the question becomes, if these similar myths are scattered around the world, did the Tower of Babel actually exist? One could say that the story is so widespread because we were scattered across the globe by God. Because of this, past generations would have to teach their descendants what would happen if you should anger the Mighty One in the heavens. As the story was told and retold, it is possible that the location was changed. The tower became a pyramid or a great house. This would allow the future generations to contextualize what they are learning, making it easier for them to learn the story than for their minds to wrap around a tower in a land they've never seen or heard of. Of course, it is just as likely that the story was created, as most stories are, to teach the people to humble themselves before God and the belief system that has been put into place. Just like the story of the boy who cried wolf is meant to teach children not to lie, or the tortoise and the hare is meant to teach you not to give up. So the Tower of Babel is meant to humble yourself and not overreach past the boundaries of mankind. Many scholars believe that the Tower of Babel itself was based upon the great ziggurat of Babylon, known as Etemenanki. It was discovered by the great Babylonian emperor Nebuchadnezzar when the Babylonians captured the land of the Hebrews. The temple itself was first built by some long-forgotten king, yet it had been abandoned, and time and the sun had almost destroyed it. Nebuchadnezzar had the temple rebuilt, and it was a great monument. It was later discovered that a stone had the carving that stated the ziggurat was actually the Tower of Babel. Some have pointed out that the ziggurat actually inspired the creators of the Tower of Babel story, and possibly placed this marker on it. Yet no one truly knows the answers to these questions. It is possible that some ancient civilization passed on these teachings to us, and no one has truly gotten the actual story correct. But in the eons of retellings, we do our best to pass on the lessons to our descendants.